Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Today's episode is brought to you by Omigo bidet. Omigo is the greatest thing to clean your butt with, and we will tell you more about that during the episode. But we've got a fan contest. The best fan-filmed commercial for Omigo wins $500 and an Omigo bidet, and we will air the winning commercial at the end of a Gas Digital podcast.
The deadline to enter is October 29th, and you're going to email gasdigitalmarketing@gmail.com. One more time, that's gasdigitalmarketing@gmail.com for more info on how to win $500 plus an Omigo bidet. Okay, let's start the show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Broad Motherfucking Topics. I'm your host, Kim Congdon, here with my co-host,
Alex Scarlato. Hi, Kimmy.
Hi, baby girl. How are you?
I'm good. I got a little more high than I usually am before the show while waiting for you to join the Zoom meeting. So I want to just be upfront about that at the top.
That's funny. I don't ever expect you to say you got like too high. It doesn't seem like a thing that would come from you.
Not too high, but higher than I expected to be, like at the start, you know?
Right. Totally.
How are you?
I've just got high as well. I 100% completely forgot about the podcast. Truly.
I was wondering what caused the delay.
I did. I don't know if I didn't know what day of the week it was. I didn't even think about what day of the week it was. It was one of those days where I woke up and it's like, it's a Saturday. It just feels like a Saturday.
Are you telling me you looked this good without realizing the podcast was happening?
No. I did this very quickly, but the thing is I went out last night, so my hair's sort of still done from last night. I just threw on these hoops and this tank top. I'm wearing sweatpants right now.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, look. Sweatpants on the bottom. So, yeah, I just did a little eyebrow mascara, but yeah, you know, like I said, I don't know what's happening, but the skin been getting lately. So,
yeah, it's the LA fucking glow.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. It also could be that I went and hung out with a bunch of like, Wine Shank and this other comic. She's super funny. Steph Simbari. I don't know if you know her. She is That's a Retrograde podcast. And they do like a bunch of like, they talk about like holistic things and like crystals and that whole deal. And we went and did a full moon ritual about 2 weeks ago where we like set our intentions with the full moon and like did this whole thing about things we wanted. And one of my things was to see myself more physically attractive. And I feel like it worked.
What was the full moon ritual? Can you explain it to me? Because I feel like, weirdly enough, whenever there's a full moon, I fucking make wishes on it. Like I do little things in my own head, but
you have your own ritual.
Yeah, but I don't know about any kind of like actual ritual, you know?
It was actually, going into it, I was scared because I'm like, I'm not about some occult witchcraft shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to like do some weird, the craft shit. And
right.
Two, I was like, I'm also not trying to like get deep into my feelings and have like one of those like weird church cry sessions. Remember when the churches used to like admit things, make you like admit your sins and then everyone would like cry?
I was never comfortable with admitting my sins to a priest. I'll be honest right now.
I lied my sins. I'd make my sins up. I'd be like, oh yeah, I hit my sister twice.
I used to make my sins up as well, and they were worse than anything I had actually done. Like I just wanted attention from the priest somehow.
You wanted sin attention?
Like they made us do that shit in 4th grade, like the fucking reconciliation sacrament or whatever.
Yeah.
Like 10-year-olds are a little too young to be like facing their mistakes like that and telling some fucking pedophile about them. That's psychotic psychotic that the pedophile is the person who you're supposed to go to tell your secrets and like only him.
It's right. And you know what, to be honest, like you made your sins worse, but mine, I would be like, I hit my sister because I didn't want to write like I humped the end of my bed and give it to this dude. Like, I humped my pillows.
That's so funny. I would never tell the priest anything sexual whatsoever.
Those are the only things I thought were wrong, that I didn't really do other wrong things. Like when you're 10, like what are you doing so wrong? what can you possibly be doing wrong as a 10-year-old besides making your Barbies fuck? You know what I mean?
I would make up lies that I told to people, make up fights that I had with people.
Oh, you were a bad person.
Make myself seem like a bad kid so that we really had something to talk about.
I like that. But yeah, so I didn't want it to be like that, right? I didn't want this whole ritual to be like a cry sash. So I get there, and before I get there, Sarah's like, oh, we usually all pick out a snack that we think everybody would like, and we all pull out our snacks together, which is already a fun idea for me. I'm like, I'm loving this. We have joints, we have snacks. Me and Sarah also had the best day. We decided that we were going to make the whole day a ritual. So we had the best day ever. Sarah picked me up. We went, she just moved into this really cool spot deep in the valley, in the middle of the woods, like where like her backyard is like, it looks like she's on the top of a mountain. You can see everything. It's gorgeous. Nice. Yeah. And so we went on a hike where we could see literally the entire ocean from the top of the hike, even down to like very tiny little waves crashing on the shore, but like the whole ocean. And it was so beautiful. And then we went and swimming in Malibu, and the water was like crystal clear. Like we were up to our chest and could see our toes. And it was so cold, and we went swimming in Malibu, and then we went and got snacks. We showed up to this ritual. It was Steph. Oh God, she's going to kill me. I can't remember her friend's name. I can't remember her friend's name, but she was really pretty and cool. But we all got
Heather.
there.
It's fine.
She was a Heather. She was a Heather.
Yeah.
And then we all got snacks. We all ate cheese and wine and crackers and just sort of like talked. And then after a while, Steph starts pulling out these candles, like those long ones. You know what I'm talking about? And she starts lighting
scary
them.
Candles.
The scary candles. She starts lighting them, and we're just still talking. And then
what a really scary candle is, if I may say. You know those thick candles, the thick religious candles?
Yeah.
Those, I think, are the scariest candles next to the long, skinny ones.
They are the scariest candle, truly.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's so weird, because they should be the most comforting because they're like religious, but they're the scariest for sure.
Don't put that candle near me. Yeah.
No. That's not what. So then she's like, oh, who wants to go outside and like smoke? So we're all sitting outside. She has this really cute outside area. The weather's perfect. It's dark. It's dark out at this point. She starts handing out these pieces of paper, and she's like, and I was like, this is where I'm like, what are these for? And she's like, we're all going to write down things that we don't like in our lives that we want to let go of. And I was like, in front of each other? Like I was like, oh, and she was like, yeah, and I was like, okay. So I'm like in the corner, like covering mine and
like,
writing
like a fucking kid taking a test. Like,
yeah, I like put up binders. You know what, those kids that used to make the forts, the don't copy me forts?
Yeah. I remember the good old fucking folder fort.
Yeah. So I am, I'm writing my thing down, and we're all like quietly just like smoking and sort of talking. And then Steph goes, all right, who wants to go first? And I was like, for what? And Sarah was like, I'll go first. And Sarah's like,
you're not going to read them out loud.
Yes.
No,
but
no.
That's what I thought.
Mine.
That's
Where's
what
the
I
fire?
thought.
I'll burn mine first.
You throw it in real quick. That's what I thought. And I was like in a panic mode.
I thought it was one of those. I thought it was a snack, you guys. I ate mine.
Myself ate my homework.
Okay.
But so Sarah starts reading hers, and like, I'm not going to obviously say any of hers out loud, but like, just for example, she wrote, I want to, let go of holding back in life, or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
They're all going to be embarrassing no matter what it is. Like, it's too serious to ever like be funny somehow.
That's what I thought. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh God, Sarah, stop. But then Steph, I don't know if she's like a shaman or like a therapist or who she is, but she is so good at being like, yeah, I think we could all work on that. Like, I think that a lot of times, and then she just goes into like things that everybody does. And it's like listening to an audiobook. And she's like, yeah, so if anybody else feels that way, you could write that down on your list too. And it becomes like one of those things.
And everybody's like pencil to paper suddenly.
Everyone's like, yeah, I want to let go of that. I do that shit too.
That's so funny. I would literally still be anxious. I'd be like, when they read mine, I hope everybody writes mine down too. Like if nobody writes mine down after they read mine, I'll be so embarrassed.
Everybody was so nice and so supportive. And like anytime, like Steph was so good. Like you'd be like, I'd read one, like I'll tell mine. Okay. Cause I'm not, I'm not embarrassed to tell mine or whatever. I wrote for one of mine, I was like, I want to let go of my body like my physical insecurities. And Steph was like, yeah, that's a good one. Obviously, everybody deals with that. Everybody is on social media and you go into it and everybody's like, yeah. And they write it down sort of, right? So we wrote down all these things we want to get rid of. Everyone went around and then we wrote on a separate piece of paper things we want to bring in to replace those things. So it's sort of just the opposite of that. If I want to let go of my body insecurity, I want to bring in body confidence or whatever it is.
Okay.
And we wrote down those things and went through those and everything was like cool. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't awkward or corny, shockingly enough. I can't even make it sound as cool as it was because it was just a cool, chill, girls talking and smoking. We're also 3 out of 4 of us are comics. So we're making jokes and like being inappropriate at times. It's not so serious. And then, they start putting shit in a pot. They start putting up, they take, actually, it's funny that you brought up that candle, the Jesus candle. They have this pot.
Yeah, they had a cauldron and a scary candle. That's when I'd be nervous again.
They had a cauldron. Then they had the Jesus candle, but they put the love of Jesus Christ in it. And then they put some like different like rosemary and eucalyptus and Himalayan salt and like all these different like I think they put lavender oil in it. Just like all bunch of things. Sarah put everything spice in it because she wants to call in everything, which I don't know what that was. I was like, that seems like it could go the wrong way. Everything's a lot of things.
Sarah's so much. That is such a dramatic way to take that fucking potion session to be like, I'm just going to throw in everything bagel in there. Sorry to make you more Jewish, Sarah.
Sarah's extra. And then they put on, and then we sat around the pot. We put the candles around the pot. We sat outside. The moon was out at this point over us. And then we put on Kanye West's, the song Ghost Town.
Yeah, I love that. You showed me that song last time you came here, and now I think of you when I hear it.
It's such a good song. Mm-hmm. And they played that song while we took our things and burned them and put them in the pot.
You burn the bad ones and the good ones?
Yeah, we burned the bad ones first and then the good ones, and we put it all in the pot and released it to the moon, which is what you're supposed to do.
And it's working.
10 minutes later, we were like, that was fun. That was, wow. I feel like, and I was like, wow, I was nervous, you guys. That felt like a very positive thing. I feel like we didn't bring anything bad. I was very nervous about like witchcraft shit. You know what I mean? I was like, that felt really good. And then I opened my Twitter and I went, Trump has corona. I was like, did we do that? And then literally now there's articles out that there's a witch, there's a like a psychic witch who's saying that there is a group of young witches who gave him corona and she could feel it. And those girls sent me that article that we did that with, and that's just very funny.
Why do I feel like TikTok is constantly trying to fuck with Trump? Now all the TikTok witches are fucking giving him corona and shit.
Right. So I might have done that by accident, but yeah, it was a very, 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 so yeah. So ever since then, I mean, I have not worked out. I've not been dieting. I've been drinking. I am losing weight like I never have before in my life. Truly, I feel like I'm well on my way to a 6-pack.
That's wonderful.
My pants are too big. I don't know what's happening.
That's amazing. I mean, don't question it. Just like go out for the next full moon.
Right. Yeah, bitch, I'm going to be burning papers for a minute.
My aunt, my sort of eccentric aunt, is having a like some world famous clairvoyant come to her house on Halloween to do readings for everyone.
How rich is your aunt that she can afford that?
She's so rich, I can't even tell you.
Really?
No, she really is. Next time you come to visit New York, I'll bring you to her house. We'll have some fun.
I need to meet her.
I used to, as a kid, like go for sleepovers at her house and just pretend that I was her kid instead of my parents' kid. Like it was just like my rich world fantasy.
Oh yeah, I used to do that. So disrespectful to our parents. I used to have
It's
aunts
so
that'd be like,
mean.
"I wish you were my mom."
Like, you guys are great, but they've got money. Damn. Yeah. Okay. So should we talk about what happened the other night?
Yes, but can I show you something real quick?
Yes.
Have you seen this on TikTok? These things?
Oh, hold on. Is that the apple juice that's in a container that sounds like an apple when you bite into it? I know exactly what that is. I've never seen one in person, but here we are.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Kim's going to test it. Put the mic up to it.
Let me pick it from the tree.
So it's supposed to literally sound like an apple.
Oh, I got an apple.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. I do feel like it's a bad time, like in the world, to be just putting your mouth on on the outside of a plastic container. But like, once you have it, you have to try it. Mm-hmm. It sounds so good. It sounds delicious. I like the fake chewing everybody does afterward. It really sells it.
Mm-hmm. And then it's like, hold on.
Yeah, you gotta like get it out of your teeth. I see you.
So good, right?
It sounds like the tastiest, like exactly the texture that you want an apple to be. What? I don't want an apple if it doesn't crunch like that plastic does.
Doesn't it make you want to buy one and do this? I spent $4 on this in LA for this moment in our podcast.
Thank you, Kim. First of all, that's very generous of you, and I think I might purchase one.
You're welcome. And Bobby, I'm going to need to get an expense, and you need to expense this. So I need this $4.
This and one COVID test. That's great. Bobby's gonna Venmo you.
So yeah, let's talk about thanks, Bobby. So let's talk about you know what, Alex.
I know what. Hold on. First of all, I wanted to get my phone out because I want to thank a fan who sent us.
Well, let's tell the story and then thank him.
Okay. We should get into the drama first.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so about a week ago, maybe a week and a half, I get a DM from a fan saying, "Hey, I sent a package to Broad Topics to Gas Digital Network, but it has Kim's name on it. Like, just so you know, it's for both of you. Just let me know when it gets there." And on Friday, I found out that it had arrived. I texted Eric. I was like, "Hey, can you put this package aside for me? It's for me and Kim." And whatever. I guess the message got lost in translation. Whatever. I decided to trip.
Francis said, "Oh God," he knows what's coming.
I decided to trip on Friday night, and I was so excited because I haven't tripped for like a couple months now. Like by myself, like heavy trip by myself. Mm-hmm. And I'm like cleaning my room. I'm vibing out. I'm listening to Bonfire. I'm laughing my ass off. And Frank sends us a message that's like really nice, honestly. Like he like opened up the package and like laid everything out really beautifully so we could see everything that's in it. And he took a photo and he's like, "Hey guys, this is waiting for you at the studio. Like, just so you know, this package came." And the way that before you get into that, let's just note the same guy who messaged that to Alex 3 months ago messaged me and was like, "Hey, I'm going to send some stuff over to you." Or I liked one of his products and he's like, "I'd love to send something over to you." And I was like, "Great." He's like, "Just pick some stuff out." And, he was like, just pick a couple things out. And so I was like, "Oh, I love this one. I love this one." And he was like, "Well, I was hoping I could send one to Alex. Is that okay with you?" And I was like, "Of course. I'd much rather me and Alex both get something than me get two things." That's literally what I wrote back. And then, and then I forget about it. It's 3 months ago. I mean, I just completely forget it happened. And then I get a text from Francis, sweet angel, baby boy Francis, who does nothing but good for us and does nothing but try to love us. And he
he texts me a picture of a package that goes to Gas Digital. He said never again. He sent me a picture of a package that went to Gas Digital. It said, to Kim Congdon. From someone I don't even know, right? From a name I've never heard before, because this guy's Instagram name is obviously different than his name. And I've already forgotten about it, because people tell me, a lot of times two people tell me they're going to send me things and then they just don't. People forget or whatever, or I offend them or whatever. And so I just figured that guy forgot. But I'm also expecting a few things at Gas from a few people. So Francis was like, do you want this? And sometimes there are things that I don't need that I've just not from fans. Like I want all my stuff from fans, but like sometimes I get a package just from an old thing that I'm not doing anymore or whatever. And I was like, open it up to see if I need it shipped. If it's even, I don't want to ship something I don't know what it is to myself. Right. So then he said, I'll do it later. And this could have all been avoided if he would have just opened it right then, but he was on a show. But then a couple hours later, I opened my phone to that beautifully laid out photo of all those products by, God, what's his name? Do you have his Instagram?
His name is, no, I'm looking for it. Sorry. Is it at Psychedelic, Collins Wood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Collins Wood, Collins with 2L, Wood, Psychedelic, PSYCHEDYLIC on Instagram. He's from Mobile, Alabama, and he does incredible. I mean, truly and really fucking cool shit.
Really beautiful work. Hold on, I'll show you an actual photo of how Frank laid out our present. I don't know if you could see.
Not at all.
God damn.
No.
Well, it's really beautiful. There you are.
There it is.
All this really dope shit.
So Alex replies back to Francis in the snappiest tone.
Can I just say, I don't know why, like usually when I'm on acid, like I'm pretty chill. I'm like the chillest person in the world.
Right.
But the way that like anger rose in my soul that I didn't get to be the one to open this present, like I couldn't help myself. It was like my head, I started to get a headache over it. And I was like, God, you got to fucking say something. Say something. How dare he?
So Francis sends a picture and Alex replies back. And mind you, in the picture, the first picture is the package that says to Kim Congdon. It doesn't say to Alex.
It only has Kim's name on it. Like he made it a point to be like, I sent this to Kim, but you can have half of it.
Right. I mean, Alex has the fucking sack to reply to Francis in a group chat, by the way.
With Bobby. Bobby's there too. Like, it was mean. Go on. What did I say?
She wrote, that was for me, ... And then Frank sends another letter from him. And Alex said, the guy Instagrammed me about it. I was going to open it on Monday. Can you put it aside? This bitch is so demanding over my package right now. So fucking demanding. Can you put it aside? So mean. And then Frank says, oh, had Kim's name on it with a little, like, I don't know, thing. Get your boy in check. Like maybe you should tell him to put your name on it, bitch. Which I kind of like that reply. Francis,
no, I respected it, but it also threw me over the edge.
Then she writes back, how many minutes later? 4 minutes later, I'm sad this got opened.
Yep, couldn't let it go.
And then Frank said, Kim said to see if it was worth sending to her in California with the thing again, like, her name on it. Nobody told me anything otherwise. And I wrote back, sorry, Alex, wasn't sure what it was, but super nice or super excited because that stuff's dope. So I'm trying to lighten up the mood here. I'm seeing that there's a little tension. And I'm like, let's all focus on how cool these products we just got are, right? Who cares who opened it?
They're so cool.
I mean, nothing tells me more than Alex is an only child than the fact that she's mad she didn't get to open my package. It's insane.
I want to open all the presents. So wait. So I'm like,
so then Frank just writes sorry, and I double down because now I feel bad because I know Frank feels. I just know Francis. He's a sensitive man.
Frank is very empathetic. Like
empathetic, yes, that's a better word. He has a lot of empathy, and so he just writes back sorry, and I say it's not your fault, Frank. I told you to open it because it was addressed to me, and now
so
I'm trying to comfort Frank without hurting Alex.
I couldn't let it go. I truly couldn't. I came back. I said, sorry. Just annoying that I specifically asked Eric to put it aside for me to open on Monday. And then I was like,
and then you double down. Wait a minute. And then you double down and you did that thing that like shitty boyfriends do when you're like, when you're like, hey, can we just be friends? And they're like, yeah, we'll be friends. And then they text you later and they're like, but it's kind of fucking, but could you block me? And it's like, whoa, you're very angry. You can tell Alex is still upset about my move in this next one. Read it out loud. I want you to read it, Alex.
I said, this one's still in the group chat, but it's directed only at Kim. It says, I'll send it to you along with your other stuff, Kim. We need to video chat about what you want sent to LA. There's a lot at my house.
So this bitch is saying my shit's not welcome in her home anymore when her mother personally called me.
I don't know what was happening. And meanwhile, I'm like tripping and I'm thinking to myself, like, this doesn't make you look good. This is not great. Bobby's in this chat. He hasn't responded once. He's probably just working all night being like, what the fuck is happening here?
And I mean, honestly, I'm pretty proud of myself and my growth of you writing that mean thing that truly hurt my feelings. I was like, she's being so mean to me. And then I just wrote, okay, want to chat tomorrow?
I know. And I was like, yes.
And that sort of let it go. And that was the end of that.
Maybe that's what it was. Like maybe deep down, I just like got reminded of you while I was on acid. And I was like, oh, Kim and I should be tripping. I don't know what made me set me over the edge.
Oh, Francis says, I have another text from Alex.
I know. I'm opening it up right now to try to find it because the text that I sent to Frank then is crazy. So this is a few minutes later.
He said it's a goodie.
This is a few minutes later when the group chat kind of conversation comes to an end. I say, Frank, the amount of angry that I am over you opening that package doesn't align with what's reasonable right now, but I'm also on acid, so I need you to call me.
Oh my God. Did he call you?
So he said, so about 20 minutes later, he said, give me a few minutes. And maybe 10 minutes after that, he called me. And the way that by then the anger had just completely washed out of me. And I was
you were a different person on acid. You go through modes on acid.
I was like, Frank, I'm so sorry that I talked to you like that, baby boy. I should never. Like, we ended up having a whole conversation about how hard I am on him sometimes for no reason. It ended up being pretty good. But man, what's going on with me, you know?
Obviously you're not happy with my decision to stay. I honestly, if I'm being honest, it's a little disturbing. I've never had someone I wasn't dating be so upset about me not being there. And I'm only
problem.
It's actually it's some single white female shit, Alex, that you're pulling on me. I gotta say, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm a little scared.
I lashed out at our producer, at our dear sweet little Frankie Frank. How could I ever do that?
Oh, it's so fucking funny. Fuck.
And like, just because I wanted to like open the present and like see it there, and the idea that I didn't get to do that was like crushing me.
It was enough to send you truly over the edge. White people will shoot over anything. This is why all mass shooters are white people, because they get upset about things like this.
I mean, I think I'm pretty chill generally. Like,
you have never had your mother put hot sauce in your mouth and it shows as a punishment. I don't know what else to say.
I never did. That sounds terrible. How hot?
Ooh, Bobby coming in clutch on Frank's side. He said, I personally open all skanks mail to know if it's show worthy or if they can just get it behind the scenes. I think Frank did the proper thing as a producer.
I agree with you. That's the whole reason why this is fucking crazy that this happened.
And Francis said, coming from
mail for all of my shows. I really, truly do. Like, this was the most out-of-pocket fucking crazy reaction that I possibly could have ever had to anything, which is why we're talking about it on the show.
And Francis said, coming from Mobile, Alabama, I thought it was a bundle of pubes, which would make sense, too. Truly.
Goddamn. Yeah, so anyway, I would like to formally and publicly apologize to Frank and to Psychedelic over me causing any negativity around this beautiful gift whatsoever. Thank you.
I mean,
very
it's good
much.
for him. It's truly the best marketing. We've spent 40 minutes of our personal podcast marketing for Psychedelic about this huge fight we had over his product.
Over opening it. It was so crazy. It's so crazy. I don't know what came over me. It's bad.
Oh my God. So funny.
All right, let's take a second to talk about our sponsor, Omigo. They're an amazing bidet brand changing the way that you poop. I love my Omigo, and that's why I want you to check out myomigo.com. That's Omigo. Omigo makes incredible modern bidets delivered right to your front door. And with Omigo, you could turn any toilet into a bidet. So it's incredibly easy to install.
Honestly, there's no need to call a plumber when you have this. This is a DIY job. Think about it. You're pooping at home every day. Why not treat your butthole with a little respect? It'll change your life, and you'll never go back to toilet paper.
If you're lucky, you're pooping at home twice a day.
If you're lucky, you're pooping at home 3 times a day.
If you're really lucky, you just keep pooping at home.
You guys have to check them out. They have a bidet for every toilet, every butt, and every budget. There's a bidet for everyone on this. Go to myomigo.com/Topix, Topix, and take 15% off today. That's myomigo.com/Topix and take 15% off. Get a bidet today.
Your butt will thank you.
All right, let's get back into the show.
You ever just like, I don't know. I feel like it's not... people have those kinds of reactions.
One of the biggest fights I've ever gotten in with my sister April is truly one of those moments where you're just angry for no reason, and it's so embarrassing to tell you. Like, this is one of the biggest fights me and my sister ever got in. Like, it was like one of the you don't have sisters, so you don't know. It's like sisters tell each other secrets, and it was a fight where I just started yelling her secrets out loud. It was bad. And guess what it started over?
I couldn't. It could be anything.
Leftover, not even fresh. A leftover Taco Bell taco that her boyfriend ate.
No.
Yes.
So what's the situation? Her boyfriend ate the taco and she thought you ate it? Or
no, it was my taco. And I was really hungry. And I came home and her and her boyfriend, who like both didn't work, ate my taco. And I was like, how dare you guys just come in and eat people's food? It like made me sick. And I was like, the nerve. And they're like, we were hungry. And I'm like, who does that? And it became a huge fight. And so
like,
it's
how
like one
long,
of those,
like a month? Like a month or two?
No. It was just like a day or two of being mad at each other. But that day was intense. We had to be like broken up and like doors were slammed. And
when I got on the phone with Frank, I could hear a sadness in his voice where I was like, oh, I overstepped. I don't know.
You're like, I've gone too far.
You're like one of my best friends, and I have no idea why I would lash out at you for this.
Frank, or Bobby, can we see the picture of the product? That would be cool. Francis says he gets it. I think we're all good here.
I appreciate that. It's so cute.
That. Look at fucking that. Incredible, truly.
The arrangement, the way that Frank took time to arrange them in the most aesthetically pleasing way. There's obviously so much care
and love in this whole entire thing.
Exchange.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I'm still the bitch that I was in high school. I don't know.
We all are still the bitch we were in high school a little sometimes. You know?
Yeah. I got to do a full moon ritual and get rid of that side.
Oh, yeah, you should actually. I think that would be good.
Like, let me not attack my friends for absolutely nothing.
Are you excited for Halloween? Are you dressing up?
I do want to dress up. I have a costume. Bobby and I have a costume in mind for Legion of Skanks, but I don't want to say it on air yet. And then I feel like I'm gonna need like one more costume.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. On Halloween night, I'm gonna go to my aunt's house now, so I don't really know if it's like necessary that I arrive in costume. It seems kind of extra.
Yeah, to go see a real like medium in a witch costume. You should go in a witch costume. That would be so offensive and funny.
It is really funny. I might do that. Maybe I'll just wear like Halloween themed clothes, like a long black dress that's kind of like spooky.
Or you could do like a cute black dress and some like cobweb leggings.
Yeah, something like that.
That's actually, if they don't have that, they need it right now. I'm sure they do. Yeah, I did a very white girl Halloween with my friends. It was actually fun. I was dreading that too. I've been obviously hanging out with a lot of white women because I'm doing full moon rituals. And I did a white girl Halloween. I got to show you my pumpkin. You're going to be so fucking proud.
Can I say white girls know how to do Halloween? We are trained in that shit. Like,
absolutely. Lydia and Emily came over. They brought fucking
pumpkin spice. I feel like we shoot pumpkin spice out of our titties in the fucking fall. White girls are a whole thing.
Totally. They brought we did a charcuterie board, like a huge one. They brought sour beers and ciders. So
Can I say I like everything about charcuterie boards all the way down to the way that the word feels in your mouth.
Truly. Everything about it is good. And it's also fun to share like a big meal with friends. Mm-hmm. Like on one big plate. I love that. I love like family eating. So we did a charcuterie. We had some red wine, some cider, some mushrooms. We microdosed some mushrooms, and then we carved pumpkins and decorated them and watched Hocus Pocus.
Do you have your pumpkin nearby? I feel like you should show it off because it's actually really good. Kim did the most creative work that I've ever seen her do, I feel, with her pumpkin. It's a double. She had to get a little pumpkin and a big pumpkin. And it's like pretty fucking cool. I'm not going to lie. Kim, that is good. Pop the eye out for us. See the eye fucking, what? Amazing. Nice work. No, don't sniff the inside. Kim.
It's good, right? Do you guys like it?
It's really good.
And
I love it.
If I had more time, I would have made it like loose enough to where the eye moved in there or something and figured that out. And that would have been cool, right? If it was like, but
that would be pretty cool. You need your microphone.
This is cool, right?
Yeah.
Just me and my pumpkin getting all dumpkin. Me and my pumpkin, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great white Halloween.
Yeah.
Charcuterie and pumpkin carving.
Look how cute he looks next to me.
It's so cute. It's actually really good. I love it. I'm going to like a jack-o'-lantern festival this weekend. It looks pretty cool online. It's supposed to be just like hundreds of like lit jack-o'-lanterns.
That's really
all
cool.
Carved different. Yeah.
That's super cool. I had a really, speaking of Halloween, really creepy moment at the Comedy Store the other night.
Ooh, I like this. Okay, I've only been to the Comedy Store a handful of times, but every time I've been there, I could definitely sense that it's a spooky place to be once the audience is gone.
Right. So I was doing a podcast with Brian Moses and Jay Light, and we were doing it in the Belly Room, which I'm sure you're familiar with the Belly Room. And in the Belly Room, the room is set up to where it's a regular comedy room, but there is a giant mirror against one wall. Mm-hmm. Then there's the stage, and then on the other side, opposite of the mirror, there's sort of a little bench you can sit on. Mm-hmm. And behind that bench are these little stairs you can walk up. There's sort of a VIP area where you can oversee the stage a little bit above everyone else.
There's like more seating, and it's a little bit higher up than the rest of the room on the
True.
side.
and then it goes down to a long dark hallway. And they say that the belly room is one of the most haunted rooms in the Comedy Store. It's the main room and the belly room that are really creepy. The OR kind of feels fine, but and I think, I don't know if this is a rumor, but I'm pretty sure it's called the belly room because that's where they used to do illegal abortions.
Fun.
And like a lot of women died because they were illegal abortions. Probably
wait, what do you mean? Like, was it a comedy club back when they were doing illegal abortions?
No,
in
it
there?
used to be. What? It used to be like an old
illegal abortion clinic.
No, it used to be like an old mafia house.
Okay.
Let me see. Comedy Store history. I feel like I should let someone else do this, but I have control issues. It was opened in 1972 by Sammy Shore and Rudy DeLuca. It was formerly known as the home of Ciro's, a popular Hollywood nightclub owned by William Wilkerson, and later a rock and roll venue where the Byrds were discovered in 1964. So it used to be a popular nightclub, but like a bunch of like old mafia dudes used to hang out there. And then I guess that they had like a whorehouse next door. And I guess a lot of those women would get pregnant and then they do the abortions there. And then, okay. And then I've heard like really creepy ghost stories before. Like there was like I remember a comic told me one time that there was like a girl that used to hang out, like a girl that just, you know how like you have like comedy, not groupies, but just chicks that like comedy that kind of hang out. She was one of those, and she would hang out all the time. And then one day she went to go use the bathroom in the main room by herself, and she came running out hysterically crying and never came back again. And she told her friends that when she came out of the bathroom, there were hundreds of dead women and babies everywhere. Hundreds of
no.
Like, yeah, and she was like they were hanging from the ceiling, they were on the tables, there's blood everywhere.
I feel like Tony Hinchcliffe told me this story once, or told me a story relating to dead babies at the Comedy Store. For sure. I've heard of the dead babies at the Comedy Store thing. You just jogged my memory that one of the comics in LA had definitely told me that it's like a thing that you see dead babies there sometimes.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
So the Comedy Store is just creepy, right? So I'm in the belly room. I'm doing this podcast. It's at night. The Comedy Store is not open right now. So there's no one in the store. Everyone's outside. They only let
the worst time to be there.
Truly,
honestly.
They only let a couple people in to do the podcast. So we're in the main part of the belly room where the stage is, and that's the only part where the lights are on. So behind me, it's pitch black. There's a whole room behind me, but I can't even see anything. And it's literally behind me. Like I'm sitting here and I can see in the mirror the entire pitch black room behind me because it's a full wall mirror across from me. So I can see everything that's going on behind me. There's a lot of space there. And the entire podcast, I keep seeing something black. And what I could only describe as what it looks like when you see a rat run by in New York, but you don't see it. You just know a rat went by. Like you see the shape. It was like exactly like that, but in the air multiple times. Almost looked like a rat.
Did you voice this on the show as it was happening? Or were you just like, I don't want to seem crazy. Let me just like chill until it hits me like harder or anything?
Totally. And also at one point I started to feel, Francis said, did you check your eyebrow? You piece of shit. At one point I started to feel like part of my like arm started going numb. Like I felt very tingly in my arm, and it really bothered me. You could probably see the video of me during the podcast. I keep like moving my arm to get it to stop tingling because I felt like I was being touched. And it was like,
I know that feeling. I've had that feeling in my house before. Let's not talk about it.
You know when your foot falls asleep?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but like softer. Inside my arm like that. And I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't like that at all. And it would feel like it would like go down my arm. It was weird. So, but I'm ignoring all of this. Right. And then at one point they're just talking and I'm listening, and it's a social distancing podcast. So we're in sort of a triangle. I'm at the bench, Jay Light sitting on a stool on stage, Brian Moses against the glass mirror, and it's a triangle of people.
So you're like separated to the point where like if this were a slumber party, you'd be like, I need to move my fucking sleeping bag closer to the girl next to me kind of thing. Like you don't want to be that far apart from people.
I also don't want to be the only one with her back to the only dark area that's so open.
Do you remember?
And the most haunted part of the store, that back area.
Do you remember at slumber parties having the argument over who was going to sleep with the very last sleeping bag on the end, like not between people?
Right. Yeah.
That's what you're reminding me of.
Or who would sleep where like where you're sort of next to underneath the bed.
Yeah, fuck that.
That was always the worst part. But so now at this point I'm ignoring it sort of, and we're getting into the podcast and it's getting really funny and I'm feeling a little better, but I'm still seeing something like run across. And at one point, the door behind me, I hear the doorknob turn.
The door to like the green room in the back,
yes.
or the door?
Yes.
Okay.
The door to the green room in the back, which heads up to Mitzi's office.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So I hear the doorknob quiet. You know when you're like trying to see and you're being really quiet when you turn the doorknob? Someone was really quietly turning the doorknob. I hear that, and then the door goes, and as I'm turning around, and it's creaking the whole time I'm turning around, it goes, when I make eye contact with where it is, it stops suddenly. So it's like, and I look and it goes, just stops. Almost like I caught someone. And it stops,
Okay.
and I look back at Jay Light and Moses, who both stopped talking. And I'm like, did you hear that? And they go, yeah. And right when I said that, it goes, and opens all the way. And I threw the mic down, and I ran behind Moses, and I'm sort of like, literally full panic, hugging him. So I jump in the chair behind him, and I just put my face into his back. And he's like, well, just check it out. It's probably nothing. And he kind of goes back there into the pitch black. And because these guys that work there, I mean, there's something wrong with them. They're not scared at all.
But there's also a thing about like men. I feel like dudes, even if they are scared, will be like, I'll go check it out. Don't worry. Like,
right.
know?
Because the chances are it's not a ghost that's going to murder us. And then he's probably going to get pussy because I'm like, he's so brave.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even scared of the ghost.
My hero.
But yeah, he goes back there and he's like, oh, I think Richie's just walking around over there. But it was like so clearly something right behind me. And Richie, we know very well, Richie doesn't just sneak around and like, you know what I mean? Like Richie's the kind of guy that would just come in and make himself known. It was just off that he would think that it was someone else walking around. It wasn't.
Okay. I mean,
it just wasn't.
Just to play devil's advocate, like I would sneak around if I knew there was a podcast recording. But then also like once I hear that the door, I guess once that I noticed that the door is creaky, I would then open it really quickly to get rid of the creak quick.
Yeah, I understand sneaking around and trying to open it quietly, but when I turn to stop and then when I turn around to keep opening it, it's just not something that a friend of mine would do. It's
and
not
also
like
nobody was there, I'm assuming. It's not like anybody came out of the door. Yeah.
No, nobody ever came.
Weird.
No one opened the door. No one checked. He was just walking around on a different side of the store. And he's like, oh, I think it was just Richie walking around. But
Did you ask Richie? Did you ever ask Richie?
No, but maybe I will.
You should.
And then a few nights before that, we were standing outside the Comedy Store really late. It was like 1 a.m. And Richie's telling ghost stories, right, about the Comedy Store. It's like a ghost story night again. And everyone's telling their ghost stories of their weird experiences they've had with ghosts there. Just totally bizarre. And he tells us the story about this light that goes on at the top of the Comedy Store in this office that like nobody goes into. And the light was just on one day, like a lamp turned on. And so they called the police because it was after closing. So nobody should have been there. So they're like, obviously someone's sleeping here. And they turn that light on. The police go up there. They search that room. There's absolutely no one in the room. There's no way there was anyone in the room. They turn the light off. They go downstairs. And when they get to the bottom of the stairs and look back up, the light turned on again. And the police refused to check again. They're like, we're not going back up there because there was only one way up and one way down. So there's no way someone was like, went up a different way and turned it on. Nobody went up there. Like there was no one up there and it just turned on again. And then, so they like didn't want to go up there. So he's telling us a story. I'm looking up in the window and I can see a tiny green light, almost like a laser pointer through the thing the entire time they're telling this story. And don't want to be the weirdo that's like, do you guys see a light right now? So I don't say anything. So the whole night there, and I'm like looking and I kind of sort of see a light literally like through the thing. It just was so clearly a tiny little light. And I don't say anything. And then the next day I see this comic, David Lucas, and we're hanging out. And I was like, last night was creepy, right? He was like, yeah. He was like, I kept looking out the window and I saw this green light, but I don't want to freak anyone out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So creepy.
And I was like, I saw that light too. He was like, you did? And we both like ran. Yeah.
You know
so
what?
creepy.
It also kind of makes sense to me that like spirits who are for whatever reason bound to earth would want to hang out at the Comedy Store where
I
like
would.
there's like lots of good vibes and it's usually packed with people who are like laughing. Like I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to spend my afterlife here and I'll be creepy at nighttime and I'll go watch the shows in the day. Like,
Right.
yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like
That's crazy.
where else am I going to haunt? Like, I don't want to haunt like my own house,
a grocery
like,
store. Who wants a haunted like a grocery store?
If you're haunting a place that you used to live in, like honestly, get a life.
True.
You know, like
only loser ghosts haunt houses.
Yeah, like you fucking used to live in this house and you died in this house. Like go look someplace else.
The store is a fun place to haunt. You get the best comedy in the world. It's drinking, it's nonstop partying, it's fun. You get wild slutty chicks that come through and like fuck comics. Like it's fun.
If I go before, before my time or whatever, I'm going to haunt Gas Digital because I love my friends. I want to be around them. I want to keep everybody on their toes, like keep the chaos kind of going a little bit.
Totally. Suddenly everyone's packages are going to be open. They're like, that's Alex's thing. When she's a ghost, she has to open the packages.
We've got a poltergeist. She opens all the fucking packages.
Don't open mail without her. She doesn't like it. She'll stir this whole place up.
Kim, where would you haunt if you died like now?
I'd like to haunt a beach.
That's pretty good. I like it.
I think it's an original thought. I've never heard of a haunted beach.
Can you come haunt me like every now and again though?
Yeah, I'll haunt you every while.
I feel like you could teleport if you're like a spirit. So like you could like go haunt a beach in California and then like come over here and haunt me a little bit.
Well, according to the CIA.gov, we could literally hang out every night in the astral realm if we both just learned.
I think we should be trying harder now that it's going to be a while before you come back to New York.
And I think if we can get it, then we can just actually physically start hanging out in another space. They said in the documents that the CIA has been doing their meetings in the astral realm since 1995. They do a lot of private meetings there because you can't take. But the thing that's weird about the astral realm is when you come back, you can only take some of the information with you. Like they've done tests where like they write down 10 numbers and they put it in a house in your kitchen. Right. And they say, Kim, you're going to astral project to Alex's kitchen, walk over to the table, and you're going to remember those 10 numbers and come back. People can never remember all 10. They'll remember like 7 of them. And then the last 3 are a blur. So you can't take everything back with you from the realm. Isn't that interesting?
That is really interesting. Yeah, I think we can do it. I think we're both low key psychic enough that if it's possible to be done, then we could do it.
Let's try, and then nobody will believe us when we can.
That's fine. We'll know.
We will know.
Haunting a beach, what does that even look like?
Well, I'd like to... I don't know.
I guess like, because you think of hauntings happening at night and people generally go to the beach in the day. So Are you haunting the beach at night? So it's like kids coming out to fucking...
Oh, yeah. And they go, let's go to the haunted beach at night. If you stand by the water, you hear comedian Kim Congdon say a bit
doing
in her
ear
on acid at the beach.
Dude, I'd be at that beach so often.
Just tripping with me. Crazy.
Yeah, that's fun. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would come haunt you a little bit. I'd haunt all you guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I guess it'd be hard to haunt at the beach because everything that happened. Maybe the beach is the most haunted place. Maybe sand doesn't even stick to you, and it's all the ghosts being like, "We're haunting you."
Yeah, I feel like you pose yourself for a challenge. I really don't know how to make. I mean, you could fucking whip sand at people as an invisible ghost. That's pretty fun.
You know what I would do? I would put holes in the sand and put their towels over it so they would just trip in holes. That's funny.
I like that. Beach pranks. You could probably very easily, I don't know how much contact you could make, but you could like ghost drown somebody in the water.
That's true. Oh yeah. They say if you go in the water at night, a ghost pulls at your feet. Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't, no,
that's pull at your feet.
Pull at your feet and you like pull them down like a foot
and then let them go. But they just get one quick jerk.
Ooh, that's really scary. And you could feel that it's a hand around your ankle.
Yes.
Kim, that's a really good way to haunt people at the beach.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's fucking terrifying.
They'd call me Kim Undertow.
Oh, no.
You know what an undertow is at the beach?
Little Kimmy Undertow.
Little Kimmy Undertow. So, and then the kids would start making fun of me and calling me Kimmy Camel Toe, and I'd be like, no.
Quit. Then you pull them down. You pull them down for an extra second for that one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a damn bro. I was looking through. So this is weird. And this is kind of something that I mentioned to someone the other day, and I didn't realize just how strange I sounded until I was saying it loud in front of a group of people, and they were looking at me like, this isn't normal. You ever have those moments?
I hate it when that happens. I had that moment. I can't remember what I said. Like, it was within the last 6 months to a year where I was like, you should never say that out loud. Like, it doesn't sound good.
Right. So I was sitting with a group of people and I was telling them that I recently in Florida, God, I wish I had these pictures right now because they would be perfect for the podcast. When I was born in St. Augustine, Florida. My parents lived in the guest house of the most haunted house in St. Augustine, Florida. So haunted, I think that there is a movie about it called The House. And you can like literally look up The House, St. Augustine, I think, or a book or something. Haunted. What's like haunting?
You lived there as a baby?
Yes.
You should never have a newborn in a haunted house. Like that's haunted house rules 101.
Well, I know it was so haunted that they literally wrote a book about it and they were starting a movie about it. I don't know if it ever got picked up or whatever, but multiple people died in this house. Also, the ghosts were violent in this house. It wasn't like a fun haunting. Like the owner got pushed down the stairs, like shit like that. And like one of the people that died was a little albino boy who his parents had an albino kid and they were ashamed of him, so they kept him in the attic until he starved to death, and he died when he was like 9. And the neighbors would say they'd see this little starving albino kid in the window and nobody would know what to do because everybody was scared of him. Horrible. Like, and then a bunch of babies died and a bunch of weird shit happened, right? And my parents lived here with these people. And if you could see a picture of these people, it's like, go to any Netflix show about 2 old people that seem nice in the beginning and in the end they're the ones that are the devil. That's what they look like.
Okay.
Truly 2 old white people. The wife was like this skinny blonde, like old white lady with like her hair, like it was like curled like this. And she'd have long white dresses. She literally looked like a ghost. And her husband was an old white dude. It looked like the grandparents from Paranormal Activity. That they went and stay with their grandparents and they're like sweet in the beginning. And then the grandma's like upside down. Looks like that. And the house has so many fucking scary stories. And like, there are pictures of me 2 weeks old in this woman's arms in this living room. It's like a big creepy living room with pictures of the people who have died in the house before them and like these weird things on the walls and like a weird fireplace. And she's in a rocking chair and her husband are both holding me. And I'm like telling my parents, I'm like, why are you letting these people hold me? And they're like, they loved you. And I'm like, am I haunted?
Your mom's just oblivious to all of the fucking like there's like numerology on the walls and shit and like all this ominous shit.
So very clear something is off.
That's great. I want to see those pictures next week.
Absolutely. I'll show them to you next week. They're so creepy.
Kim, wait, maybe you have like special powers because you spent time in this house as a baby.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. But then I'm like, are they good powers? That was a creepy ass house.
Really weird move to have your newborn baby in a very obviously haunted house.
Where multiple babies have died. Literally, the backyard had like 4 or 5 tombstones for children.
You know what? Once 2 babies died in the place where I'm keeping my baby, I'm going to move my baby somewhere else.
Totally. It's like my mom was trying to have like a fucking post-abortion or something.
I definitely feel like the soul of a newborn would be much more precious to like a evil spirit than the soul of like me or you know?
Right. Our souls are all crusty and like have fucked a lot.
Our souls are jaded. They're all disgusting. They're in
We've
the
got
crust.
crusty souls.
Yeah, but like a newborn soul, like, give me that power, you know?
Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the haunting of Kim Congdon.
Well, I'm sorry that you were haunted as a child, Kimmy.
That's
You
okay.
made it out of that pretty well.
I did. But I also had a sick obsession with that house growing up too.
Really?
I would tell all my friends about it and like was like obsessed with the story of how it was haunted and stuff. Yeah. So maybe something weird did happen.
That makes perfect sense.
Hold on. I'm hungry.
Ah, delicious.
Doesn't sound as good when it's empty. Oh, that was
it sounds better when it's full?
No.
Are there Are there two sheets of plastic on it that they?
No.
Is that what's happening? Or is it just your teeth against that?
It's just my teeth and the way the plastic fold.
That sounds good.
How?
I want one.
And like, is it on purpose, do you think?
I don't know. I find it weird that those became popular just as an international pandemic hit. They were like, now we're going to make it really popular for teenagers to lick their bottles.
Right. This is what's actually carrying corona.
It might be. Who knows?
It sounds like the best bite of an apple.
It sounds like the only apple I ever want to eat. Yes. Yes. Eat that apple.
So yeah. Anyways, this was
fun. What word are you looking for? Okay.
It is fun. It was so Halloween. It was perfectly themed for the month that we're in.
I know. I like it. I want to come up with more ghosty stories. To carry us through October.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh God. Oh, did I tell you about when I first moved in here?
Did you have a ghosty story?
Oh my God, I didn't tell you. I'm staying at my friend's studio. My friend fell in love with this dude who lives in downtown. So very luckily for me, she was living with him, but also keeping, because they haven't been dating that long. She didn't want to give up her apartment. She's just been staying there every night. And so she's been paying full rent for her apartment. So I was like, I'll pay most of it if you just let me stay there and whatever. So I'm in the studio of hers. And this is one of my Halloween white friends. And the first day I come in here, you know me, I sense things. Mm-hmm. The first day I'm in here, I'm alone. And I'm like, I feel like I'm not alone. Just that feeling hits me. And I always know, I got you, Francis. And I always know that something's wrong, because the feeling of for me, when I get that feeling, it reminds me so much of exactly how I felt like my entire childhood. This scared feeling comes up and it makes me feel like a kid. And always, every time I feel that, someone goes, oh yeah, this place is really haunted. Almost always. So I get that feeling and I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm in here. I'm kind of trying to settle my stuff. I'm alone. What was the first thing that happened? The first thing that happened, there's this AC unit. I don't know if you could see it right there. You see it on the other side of the chair? And I wanted to turn it. It's very, very heavy. I wanted to turn it towards me so it blew under this loft while I was sitting in it. And I very heavily, it took me a little bit of effort to turn it and get it to stay. And I turned it towards me, and then I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, it was back to where it was originally, which when I first turned it, it was so loud because it's got that thing in the back that goes when you turn it, that tube. And it was very a loud, long, crinkling process, and it was just put perfectly back, like I'd never moved it. And I was like, that is weird, because it was so hard to turn. But then I'm like, you know what? It's blowing air. It's on wheels. It could, even though it's heavy and not moving, it maybe could have, right? So I put that in my head. And then I'm like, whatever, that's fine. Then I'm blow drying my hair, and I order Postmates. My Postmates text me that they're downstairs. So I turn off the blow dryer. I put it in the sink. I go downstairs and get my food. I come back up and I hear the blow dryer on. And I walk in the bathroom and the blow dryer is on the floor, fully blasted. And I was like, that's weird. And this is all in a matter of like an hour. And I was like, that's weird. And and both of those, when both of those happened, I got that feeling again, that watched feeling. And I was like, So that happened. I got that feeling again. I was like, that's so strange. And then the last thing that happened was I went and got something in the fridge. I closed the fridge and I walked away. When I came back, the fridge door was so open that it was like pushed. It meets perfectly with the cabinet. It was like kind of stuck where I had to pull it and close it. And it was all so quickly. In the fridge, it kind of has like a weak seal, so I could see that. But all of them put together in like 30 minutes didn't sit right with me. Then Lydia comes over that night. And I was like, oh, I was kind of, and then I didn't even mention anything to her. And she's kind of going through like, showing me like, oh, don't microwave these plates, or like you can wash this, but don't wash, showing me in her house giving me the tour. This is a remote control over here. This is how the TV works. And then we get over to her liquor cabinet. She's like, this is my liquor cabinet. You can have whatever you want. She's like, down there, those are my grandparents. They're not going to bother you. Their ashes are happily in a liquor bottle. And I was like, that's who it was. Very clearly, it was your grandparents. And they were like, what are you doing in my granddaughter's house?
Okay. Like, yeah, they're like, the AC needs to face this way. We get hot.
Right. It literally pointed back towards them. But also, like, what are the chances that there were ashes in here after all of that?
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. It's nice. It must be kind of nice to know that it's just her grandparents.
Totally. And the second I was like, they're your grandparents. Cool. Nothing ever happened again. Sort of like they saw that. I was like, oh, it's Lydia's friend, and then she told them we're here, and now it's been like not even an ounce of that weird feeling.
I had a similar thing happen to me in my house of like, I used to be scared all the time, and then as soon as I had the thought of like, oh, it's my uncle, it basically all stopped. I was like, okay,
that's weird, right?
It's nothing crazy, yeah, but. My grandmother used to have, I don't think they're in this room. She used to have these lamps that had like these statues in them. Like the bottom of the lamp was like a statue, and one was a dude and one was a chick. And they're kind of creepy. They're like all white. They're not like colored. You know how like just white statues with no features just kind of look creepy sometimes?
Always, yeah.
And they're like, I don't even know what century these people are supposed to be in. I want to say like mid like 17th century. They're like dressed up all fancy. She's got a dress with like lace on, and he's got like a hat and like a collar and all this stuff.
Right.
And the dude one is like pointing a finger. He's like pointing a finger in front of him. That's his pose.
Okay.
And they used to be like in my current bedroom when it was my grandmother's room. And I used to sometimes go in there to use that bathroom. And I remember going in there one day and like noticing specifically how fucking creepy the statues were. Like they'd been there all along, but I never noticed how creepy they were. And on the way in, like the statue of the dude gave me a really unsettling feeling. He was like pointing like straight at the wall in front of him. And I was like, that's so creepy. I don't know how I never noticed how fucking creepy those things are. I went into the bathroom and closed the door probably most of the way, but not all the way.
Alex, who's that guy behind you?
Stop it. Don't say that. Stop it. So I go into the bathroom, I do my business, whatever, and I get up and I get out of the bathroom, and the statue, his like finger is pointing at me now instead of at the wall.
No.
Yes.
No.
And I remember just running out of that room so fast, slamming the door, telling my parents about it, like immediately being like, I don't want to see those lamps anymore. Do something with them. It freaked me the fuck out.
It was in this house?
It was in this house. It was in the bedroom that I sleep in now.
Alex, the lamp's not the problem. I got to tell you, it's the whole house. You can look at your background looks haunted right now. Your house couldn't look more haunted. Also, it looks like move your head again. Doesn't it down the hallway look to be a black shadowy head poking out? I know it's the other side of the piano, but doesn't that look? Do you guys see that?
That's a picture frame on the piano. I see exactly. I'm pointing at it, right?
Yes. It does look like someone going like, hello.
Yeah, I see that.
Your shit couldn't look more haunted. You look like your house looks haunted.
Yeah, my house is pretty haunted. It's fine though. We're chill. This is actually the room that I was the most afraid of as a kid. Like the room
That's
that
actually
I'm
my
currently
favorite
in.
room in your house, oddly enough.
I know it's the house. It's the room that you said felt less haunted than the back area back there.
But maybe that's because I'm truly a ghost baby. And I was like, this feels right.
Maybe.
So who knows?
Shit.
I don't know what's going on anymore, but all I'm saying is
I'm done.
I'm done with the scary shit. I don't want it around me. I don't want it near me.
You know what? Next week, I know we don't have it prepared right now, but we need to revisit that video of you doing the Rubik's Cube, where you're completing a Rubik's Cube and like an actual ghost literally is in the background of the video, like an actual something that like you would have to be in hair and makeup in a movie studio for 4 hours to look like this much of a ghost.
Whatever passed me in that video, I'm looking for it right now. Whatever passed me in that video, it looked like the girl from The Ring. How can we just show it now? I found it.
Can we show it on it's on Kim's Instagram. It's like her solving a Rubik's Cube.
Bobby, I can tag you in the post so you can find it quickly if that helps. Would you want that, or you want me to figure out how to fucking download and email it to you?
He said yes.
Okay. I just tagged you in it.
I think about that video twice a week. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, what was that? Like, did anybody who looked like that work with you?
No, I still don't know what that was. I mean, obviously it's someone who works there, but like it's off. There's something weird. I wish we could slow it down. Like,
look at the background. Look at the background of this
when
video.
When it zooms in and out. When it zooms in and out.
I see orbs. I see orbs before it even happens. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah.
We'll go through it real quick and then
Who was that? Okay, in the beginning.
Who is that?
Look at the top right corner. Wait, you're going to see orbs in the top right corner. Wait.
I think we missed it. Let me see it again. Look at the ghost. Here comes the ghost. There she is.
Do you see them in the top right?
It's all like, of.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see it again. I also love the comment, I'd suck your toes.
Who is that? Why is she's like, you're missing frames of her. Like she's like almost floating through the background. She's not even walking straight through the frame. She just kind of appears in the middle and at the end. And
she's wearing like a white dress. Like it just is off. The whole thing is off.
And
I don't think anyone I think a couple people in the comments were like, what was that in the background? But it really is sneaky. If you're not paying attention, you wouldn't even notice it.
No, that's some scary ass shit.
It makes me sick. It's scary. Fuck that. Who is that? Who is that?
Tabitha or some shit.
I wonder if I can get a screenshot of just the ghost. Oh my God.
No, we're going to slow that. I think I'll download that and slow it down for next week. For sure.
What do we do about this?
It's like also just like a office building in the city. Like it's not a prime haunting space once again.
No, but it's also like maybe she was a bitch like me that was like, I'll do an office. And I was like, I'll do a beach. You know what I mean? Like maybe we're just bad at making haunting choices. Oh,
maybe.
Look.
What is that? Why is she only in 3 frames of this video? She doesn't even smoothly walk through the background.
No, it looks like a ghost, dude.
It's really weird.
It almost feels like you could look through her. She like matches the wall behind her.
Yeah, she's pixelated. She's it's all wrong. Like maybe it was a girl who was booking it down the hallway, but like who's
in a nightgown, in a white nightgown?
I mean, and I know myself to have some frizzy hair sometimes, but like nobody goes to an office looking like that.
No, look at the difference between me and her.
Yeah, no, you're groomed.
This is someone that came out of a well.
Yeah, it's bad. She was literally dug herself out of her own grave this morning.
She literally blends in with the wall behind her. See where her arm would be? It's the same color as the wall.
You're not supposed to have that on video. I believe it.
What is
That's crazy. It's so weird.
It's off. I don't know anyone that was a very small place. Like I knew most of the employees there. I cannot think of anyone that looked like that worked there. And when I called my friend who took the video, she was like, it's just probably someone that works there. And I said, who? Who would that look like? Name one person who dresses or looks like a ghost that we work with.
Ghosty.
We call it Carrie. Yeah, I don't know.
Damn. This was a spooky episode.
It was. I think that was a fun episode. We did we went a few minutes longer than we did because we took away 10 or 15 minutes last week. Because once again I was late. I'm gonna get better at this, you guys. But next week I'm coming 5 minutes early. How about that?
That'd be great.
That's what I should do every week. What do you guys think about that? Thanks, Bobby, for
what do you guys think about that?
Me showing up on time.
Please.
But you guys, thank you so much for listening to a very haunted episode of Broad Topics. You guys, we're here every week, right on time. You can follow me on Twitter at Kimberly Congdon, on Instagram and TikTok at Kim Congdon. And Alex, where can the people find you, my love?
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Alex Scar, and head to gasdigitalnetwork.com and use promo code TOPIX, TOPIX. You're going to get a 14-day free trial with access to every single episode of this show on demand. So go do that.
Hell yeah. You guys, we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, bro.
All right, guys. Later. Bye.
Bye.